Hi, my name is Dana Arnett, co-host of Wicked Marketing, along with my partner, Carlos Cepene. You can find more information about us and our business on LinkedIn, or if you have any questions, email us at info@wickedbionic.com. Subscribe to Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. Thanks for listening. Hi, this is Dana.
And this is Carlos.
Hi there, everybody. Glad you could join us. Today we're going to talk about a little bit personal about our business and what our experience has been. We've just gone through Wicked Bionic is our marketing agency, and we've just gone through a rebrand ourselves. I think it was long overdue, but you know how it is. I think everybody can relate to this. You get busy, you've got your website, you've got your products or your services, you're out there, and by the grace of God, you get so busy that you can't really pay attention to your brand as much, and people are coming to you, right? And you don't have even a moment to really look and go, what is it that I might need to update? And we talk about updating. We do rebrands for clients, right?
Yeah, so when we say the word rebrand, people tend to think, oh, they changed their name or they changed
their logo, right?
And that's not really what rebrand is. When you think about a brand, and you can listen to the podcast that we did on branding, there's a ton of elements that go into your brand. And at the very essence, it's the representation of what your business stands for. Now, what happens is that businesses, as they grow and learn and iterate and put in new practices and new services, or learn from the services that they've been providing or the products that they're selling, or a new season of a product that they're selling, what works, what doesn't work, is over time, the brand that you were is not the brand that you are.
Right, right. And it's so true, because if you look at who you were, and you're still, in your minds, you're this new company, or you've become this, but your image, for people that have no idea about you, you're still presenting that thing from 4 years ago, and they don't know, and you're like, well, but we're this now.
And Dana went from loving our website, because she loved it at the beginning, to
5 years old. Like, I could not even I couldn't even tell anybody to go to wickedbionic.com, because I hated it. Things weren't clickable. It was just so
and when you work with a creative like me, our brand changes.
I'm going to tell you guys really, you know all what there's prices. A small business will spend $5,000 on a new website, and a large company will spend $60,000 on a website. And I will tell you, or $160,000, yeah. But with us, I think we've spent, and we're a small business, like $20,000 in the last year and a half trying to get a new website, because we didn't have the time. So we're like, oh, well, let's outsource to India. Let's see if that's a good thing that people were doing originally. We're like, well, let's see, because it became a very popular thing to do, to use developers in India. And we thought we would never try that on our clients. Let's see if this works. Well, that didn't work. Yeah. Carlos is like, Dana, they can't even type code. Yeah. Like, oh my God, they delivered an HTML site.
That's what happens when you start listening to other people, and you don't dedicate time on yourself, because we were so busy with our clients that we didn't have the time to do it ourselves.
Yeah, and we tried. So, we were throwing money at different things, trying to solve our problems. And, really nobody knows your brand like you know your brand. And we were developing, and we've been developing and growing. And it takes a while if you're not selling a product, you can have more products. But if you are a service like we are, really developing and understanding what we have to offer.
Well, and that's the thing, right? We dedicate so much time to our clients and to building their brands and modifying their brands and helping them understand their brands, that dedicating the time to us was a bit of a challenge.
It was a challenge. It was a challenge
at the time.
It was a challenge. And how we ended up starting is we really had to look at who we were now. And we looked at who we were now by who were our clients, who was attracted to us, where was the phone ringing from, what types of businesses, not even as much the types of businesses, but what types of services were they looking for. And also, not just that, is what did we do well? What did we do well? And, we have a campaign with the city of Los Angeles that we do, and our results have been so phenomenal in the last, I think it's 21 months, that we exceeded our own expectations. Fair to say, around that, and the client's super duper happy. And like, it's about leveraging that, because we also found so much joy in these campaigns, and they were on things like immigration and getting a free high school diploma, things that we were passionate about, that we really developed something that we cared about. And so we were starting to see like, wow, we love doing this. This is really something that we want to highlight as a service.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So it was looking at when you're in the service industry like we are, you're not in the industry of providing services. You're in the industry of being off service. And being off service means that the services that you provide actually actually have a result that is a positive result for the brands that are engaging with yours, right? So when we looked at the services that we provided and what was working, what we were very highly effective at, that's where we started recrafting our packages and our services. As a service business, we've worked with many other services. Now, like Dana mentioned, we even tried going overseas, which did not work.
We'd rather pay a higher dollar and do it in the U.S. where we can manage and control it. Is really.
But even within the U.S., we've worked with businesses that just are all talk, right?
I mean, isn't everybody has done that, and we certainly experienced it.
And you partner and you grow
by
working with these businesses. So what we did was we looked at those experiences and we looked at our brand and we said, you know what, we are truly able to still partner with other businesses to execute certain things.
We need them and they need us.
We need them, they need us. But we are this, right? So we are marketing, we are strategy, we are execution, we are
content deliverers.
Content delivery. And so when we looked at that, and it's sort of this right brain, left brain service that we provide, we wanted to express that in a visual way. We wanted to word that in the way that represented us to the clients that were coming to us. So,
and that we were looking to attract.
And the ones that we were looking to attract.
I want to say something about that too, Carlos, I don't mean to interrupt you, but to talk about for a second, because, I'm really good with, when I worked in television, I was really good with sound bites and teases and short form content and the wording around that and writing that. And so I've done that, helped the content on a lot of our websites that we were building in the beginning. I don't do that anymore, but in sprucing it up with language. And what I realized was, when I was trying to write our website, it was so dull.
Yeah.
it was dull. It was boring, and it didn't have the passion of you and I. And so we hired this wonderful woman named Millie, who writes out of Silicon Valley, and she started to interview us. We hired her to interview us and to write our website, and we spent separately, not even together, probably an hour and a half each. And then she did research on our company and research on what people were saying about other marketing agencies. And then she crafted our story throughout all the pages of our website. And I feel like we just launched, by the way, wickedbionic.com, relaunched. And I think it really feels like it sums up the agency with this human piece that is who we are.
And isn't that funny that when you are off service, you can be of service for everybody else. So we can write content like nobody's business for the businesses that work with us.
Yep.
But we couldn't write the content for ourselves.
You can't see it. You can't see it.
You can't see it. You have to bring in, because you live it. Right. You live in it every day.
Right.
So what is of value, and I call this the outside of the building method versus the inside of the building method. When you're inside of a building every day, looking at the same four walls, being in the same space, the perceptions that you develop over time are based on the continual exposure to that same environment. When you go outside of the building and you meet someone new that's never been in that room, that's never seen it that way, when they come in, their perception is completely different. It's a fresh view. So everyone that's coming to your business either has a built-in perception of your business or they're crafting a new perception of your business. And having that fresh view that still says who you are and what you represent, but it's not mired by all the experiences and continuity of your business.
And I think you're absolutely right. And I think it's funny because when I was looking at the writing of this and, proving copy as we went along, I found that it's what we tell every client. I just want to tell you all, it's what we tell every client. But I was trying to write it from a perspective of who we wanted to attract. And I'm like, first of all, I was never paid to do writing. I did television, I didn't do that kind of stuff. So I'm like, what do I know? I just, I'm really good with language. But when we hired Millie and she was able to just sense who we were, her thing was, let me show who you are by talking about the types of things that you do and where your passions are. And that is then attractive to your ideal client. You don't have to hit your ideal client over the head. And it's like everybody's business. The people that are supposed to be with you will eventually be with you. And the people that aren't, it doesn't matter that they're not there.
And that's the thing, right? You can't write content for you. You can't create your brand for you. You have to create it for the people that are coming to you, for those humans that are coming to you, right? And craft your brand to represent that, evolve your brand to continue to represent that. But even in our case, where we're the experts in this industry, we are expert enough to know that there are certain things.
Boy, did we have gaps
about ourselves that we can't do for ourselves.
Right.
Because we do them for everybody else.
Right.
And we do them highly efficiently for everybody else. But when it comes to looking at your own business and at your own brand and what you want it to be.
Or represent. Yes.
And how it has evolved from where it was a year ago. Because you were a completely different person a year ago than you are today.
So was our agency, right? I mean, really.
So was our agency. And that website was 4 years old. And God knows, back then it looked great.
It did. It was really fun, and it represented who we are. A very interesting thing, too, is, I think, and we've talked about this before on podcasts and together, about it's really not as much now about presenting this thing that looks this certain way, and this service is bullet pointed by these things. I do branding and social media. It's really, and what was so important to Carlos and I, we found what the magic is, and that's probably why we do a podcast as well. We enjoy talking to each other. We wrote a book because it's a conversation between two business people. That kind of, our rapport and the things that we love were very different in our backgrounds, but we have this love for each other and this love for our business and for people and helping people. But we really were told and wanted to express who we were in our website. The things that we have a section on our company page at the bottom that says things we love. And in that picture is like a picture of Venezuela, where Carlos is from, and this beautiful restaurant that I love that I'll never forget in Siena, Italy. And, Bogey, our office mascot, and just so many great things, because it had to be us. We had to be human, because we didn't want to be a marketing agency that did all these efficiencies that everybody else did.
And to Dana's point, even communications has evolved, right? So the way that websites were done 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, was very much about information. People finding out information about you. Right. And now websites are about storytelling. And that's how people communicate. It's just what part and parcel social media, community. Right. It's just how the world is evolving.
Connection, yes.
We continue to evolve as humankind. And it's all about connection through stories right now. That God knows 5 years from now what we're going to be doing, right? How we're going to be communicating. But right now, that's what it is all about.
Isn't one of the most important things? I mean, think about it. When you go to hear a speaker or you hear a lecture, or you go to a conference and there's people up there on stage, the ones that are telling a story, and I mean, really, most everybody does this now, so it's not unique by any means, but when somebody starts to tell a story and draws you into the story at their beginning of their talk, what happens? You start to feel something, or they're trying to get you to identify with them or identify with the message. We don't get that by putting up a PowerPoint slide that has a bunch of bullet points and then reading that slide off to you, because you can read fine yourselves. But the thing that hits, the thing that hits to your heart is, a story, and we try to tell stories of our successes or our clients or ourselves on the website. And I think that's, I think it's a beautiful thing, because I think that's what we all want, is to be connected, right? Like Carlos said, in community.
And we connect by individual experience. We connect by relating to experience. We connect by what we see and feel and the decisions that we make based on what we see and feel. And so we have evolved from that instructional type.
True, very true.
Instructional type of civilization to a more experiential civilization, to a more flexible and thinking civilization. And a lot of that then needs to be reflected in how your brand engages with the people that you're trying to reach.
I think if you remember back, probably at least a couple of years ago, when we were talking about the website and just talking about our business, I probably have been a little bit more willing to, probably my age too, but expose myself, my personality, my whatever, my background, than you were, because you come from corporate and it's about the business, the job, the whatever, the client. And I think the evolution that's been so beautiful with you too is like you are your story, right? I am my story, and that's what people connect with, is the fact that. So I think the point is that as a brand, you're allowed to have flaws. You're allowed to express yourself and still deliver an incredibly high level of service. Absolutely. Or an incredible product or whatever. It's just that we want to sit in a room with our clients, and we want to be friends, and we want to be on a Zoom call, and we're all laughing before we talk, because we like each other, and it's great to see their face on a Zoom call.
And the other thing is that which is, your point is great, but when you think about a brand, Dana and I, in our case, and now our staff, are the brand. Right? The experience, expertise, and support that we bring as a service to people, that's our brand. So when we walk into a room and you experience us as you are right now in the podcast, which is this conversation, this storytelling, this way to connect, that's who we are. So then when you see our website now, which at a brand level, a website is a very basic element of a brand, but you'll get that connection. When you look at our business cards, you'll get that connection. When you look at our letterhead, you'll get that connection.
Our podcast?
Yes. You'll get that connection. So that is really what a brand is. It's the 5 senses.
Mm-hmm. That's
right?
true.
How you interact with that product or service that you're engaging with, or that person, because some people are their brand, right?
For sure.
So it's how it feels when you touch it, how it looks when you see it.
Right.
Hopefully it smells good when you walk in the room.
It smells good. I think, or did we make perfume scented business cards? Is that what's coming in the mail tomorrow?
Right? Or scratch and sniff website.
Scratch and sniff. Yeah, we're going to have a scratch and sniff website.
Scratch and sniff website. I still go back to that story. I think it was in Madrid or New York. I was walking on the street, and all of a sudden it smelled like French fries. And I'm like, looking.
Vendor.
I'm like, where's this? Because it was a really pungent French fry smell. And I'm like, where is the Burger King around
As
here?
you're salivating.
McDonald's. I'm like, no, because it was so strong. It was coming from an out-of-home ad.
You mean like on a bus stop?
They literally had one of those standing billboards on the street. The scent was coming out of it.
No way.
The scent was coming out.
And that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Ooh, who was innovative?
I think it was Burger King. They were launching like a new set of fries.
Why hasn't that caught on?
I don't know.
Fantastic.
But such a brilliant idea, because what triggers you to want to go eat McDonald's more, or Burger King, or French fries?
The smell of that oil.
Than the smell of those fries.
Oh, God.
God almighty.
We're going to have to stop on the way.
Now.
I know. I know, but like how great, right? So then you connected that after like a while, if we've been together 6 years, but after a while, I mean, how amazing is that? So there's so many fun ways that you can put your personality into what you do. And our website, the content of our new website will continue to evolve as we have more things to show and, present about our work. But we feel, we are cohesive again, and that's the fun evolution of having a brand and building it.
Our brand has caught up with us.
Our brand has caught up with us. How true is that? It's great. Anyhow, hope you all have enjoyed listening to us today.
Hope your brand has caught up to you.
Don't forget to subscribe to and share Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We are also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. See you next time.